Shidanza, welcome, welcome! The Animogles have returned to the small screen. I am Megabucks.
And I am Tycoon.
In Disney Food Part 3, we're going to continue to look at the role of food in our favorite and not so favorite animated movies. Now, we know the series is called Disney Food, but we're going to bring up a non-Disney movie anyway, because we recently watched Secret Life of Pets, and that movie had a sausage dream sequence that was both delicious and disturbing.
It reminded me of the trailer for Sausage Party, which has also just been released.
Yeah, I love hot dogs as much as the next person, but this influx of animated sausages is just too much for me. In Secret Life of Pets, Max and Duke were starving when they break into the sausage factory, so their hallucinations could be justified by their hunger. But parts of that scene were so not suitable for children.
Yeah, the main characters are basically decapitating the singing and dancing sausages. It's especially sad because the poor Wieners seem to be welcoming them into their homes, but then Max and Duke repaid them for their hospitality by taking their lives.
I guess this is why most animation companies never animate food as main protagonists. Toasters, cars, planes, animals, fish, lamps, they can all be main characters. But if you make a bagel or a piece of toast your protagonist, then you're also going to have to deal with the fact that it has a much shorter lifespan.
It's shelf life, if you will.
You're on a roll with those puns, Tycoon. But moving on to Cinderella for a bit, I want to discuss Cinderella's ability to potentially assassinate her stepmother and stepsisters. Because that totally could have happened. Everybody knows that rodents harbor all kinds of terrible diseases. Salmonella, the plague, hantavirus, they all come to mind.
So you're saying she could have collected mice droppings and poisoned her stepfamily with them? That's pretty hardcore.
Let's just say I think she keeps those mice around on purpose. Sure, Cindy acts all sweet and innocent, but she knows what she's doing. As a professional maid, Cinderella knows the importance of cleaning and proper food sanitation, but she deliberately rescues those mice from the rat traps her stepmother sets for them. She saves them from Lucifer's clutches time and time again, even though the whole point of having him around is to kill the fricking mice.
I see where you're going with this. Cinderella gives the mice clothing, food, shelter, and life advice to increase their chances of survival. But what ends up happening is that she raises them to act like humans. So the plan backfires, because the mice become so civilized that they stop pooping all over the house and they use the toilet just like everybody else.
Now, as far as mentor characters go, Mushu is probably one of the greats. But one thing that makes him especially great is that he emphasizes the importance of nutrition. Mulan, being in the army, needs to get buff fast. So Mushu even cooks her up this great breakfast with tons of protein, because he knows it's going to help her during combat training.
Mushu is almost like Mulan's mom away from home, because he shows her that tough love. You gotta respect him for that.
Now, the cool thing about Rapunzel is that she enjoys baking, so she likes making food more than eating food. But as far as hobbies go, baking really suits her creative personality. She could do a lot of really artistic things with frosting.
It's no wonder that Flynn won her heart by stealing them both cupcakes. Rapunzel's a sweetheart, so it makes sense that she'd have a sweet tooth, too.
You do have to wonder, though, does Rapunzel own a hairnet large enough to cover 70 feet of hair? Because I don't know how delicious her baking will taste if stray bits of hair get stuck in the food. I mean, tying your hair up is a basic food safety protocol.
Since Rapunzel's hair is magical, I'm just gonna assume that one of its powers is not falling into food while Punzi's baking.
Now, the royal family of Clan Dunbroch sure enjoyed food. They're all biting into chicken drumsticks and snacking on tarts. The triplets can't seem to get enough of those tarts.
It's sad that the boys refuse to try haggis. I'm very disappointed in them. I mean, if the Scottish princes won't eat haggis, what are the chances that anyone else will? Eleanor wants the boys to eat locally and sustainably, but the boys, they want tarts, because they're imported.
Imported from Maudie's kitchen, that is.
Eleanor was transformed into a bear because she ate the cursed cake, so food was sort of responsible for many of the problems in that movie.
Maybe the brave crew should go low carb. King Fergus is clearly very athletic and works out, but he could definitely stand to lose a few pounds. I guess all that extra weight is what helps him fight creatures that weigh up to 600 pounds.
I'm surprised that Winnie-the-Pooh doesn't weigh 600 pounds. Just look at how much honey he eats every day. He has a major sweet tooth.
It's like Winnie isn't even aware that other foods exist. He's like those people that live on smoothies and don't even bother with anything else. I think Winnie-the-Pooh has a serious food addiction. And what's worse is that all his friends know about it, but none of them are doing anything to help him. Christopher Robin is an enabler, because he actually encourages Pooh's addiction. He's always bringing honey with him every time he's in town.
We should have known Christopher Robin was evil from the start. I mean, he doesn't even have eyes most of the time. Just 2 black dots. People who have black holes for eyes are usually evil. Just look at Voldemort.
Now, in Lady and the Tramp, Tramp pulls out all the stops by taking Lady out to a fancy Italian restaurant. They have spaghetti and meatballs, and Lady's digging it, because for dogs, human food is the pinnacle of culinary greatness.
They couldn't have dessert, though, because the chocolate would have killed them both, and then the story would have turned into Romeo and Juliet.
Now, Elsa and Anna famously bond over chocolate, although we don't actually see them eat it as children, which makes their mutual love for chocolate seem, well, contrived. Seriously, who doesn't like chocolate? It's one of those foods that a lot of people enjoy. So sorry, Elsa and Anna, but your attempts to show me that you actually had a relationship in childhood failed again.
I thought it was also weird how Hans and Anna both like sandwiches. It seems like a commoner type of food. They should enjoy creme brulee and caviar. I'm tired of Disney having princesses act like regular Joes and then just slap on the princess title so they can sell merchandise. Since Anna and Hans were both royals, they should have acted like they were raised in royal households. That was one thing they actually had in common, unlike their contrived love for sandwiches.
Sick burn!
That concludes Disney Foods Part 3. If you missed Part 1 and 2, click on the link to catch up. And treat yourself to a burrito while you're at it. I know I will. Thanks for tuning.
Muchas gracias for tuning into the Animogles. Tuning into Los Animogles.